anymore.
You were saying something about they didn't play. This is a perfect segue into the main thing I wanted to talk to you about like 2 weeks ago, but unfortunately we could not get in it. We got to talk about Jason Whitlock, man, and what he said about Steve. We got to, because I saw your show. I saw your show when you were going through the Stephen A. Smith story, and you were like, this is some Final Fantasy stuff right here. So I got a bunch of questions I got to ask you. First of all, What do you think about Jason? Because Jason Whitlock, he went through this long thing, and I'm kind of like hot and cold on him, but I decided to watch. And when he went on this kind of crusade and he was investigating Stephen A. Smith's background and all of that, and he got into the college career stuff, and in the 1.5, he said he was averaging a game. Then Stephen A. Smith said he only played one game, and we were like, but how do you average 1.5? You only play one game. And then he said he didn't play any games. What did you think about that whole thing of Jason Whitlock going at Stephen A. Smith, and what did you think about Stephen A. Smith's response back to Jason Whitlock?
Yeah, I think all in all, it was beautiful and necessary, and I need more of that. Now, I'm not the one, like, it just seems like, Charles, you are on the pulse of sports media. Like, matter of fact, I need to just bite your show. I need to get your topic sent to me so I can know what to talk about, because you don't let anything get by. I watch your show all the time. I'm like, damn, why not do that topic? So the point is, you are on it. You and Marco kill it. Here's the thing. I'm not always there. And people who watch my show know. They were like, yeah, Wally, when you going to talk about this? I'm like, what you mean? And I'm like, tell me what it is. Yeah, right? I didn't know that Whitlock was killing Stephen A. and Stephen A. was trying to avoid Whitlock, and then finally it happened. But then I caught wind. And when I caught wind, I still delayed probably compared to the average bear. But I watch Whitlock's show, not regularly, but a lot. And I watch Stephen A. Smith's show a lot. Here's the thing. Stephen A. obviously was lying, but I try to respect people and say it like this. I don't know if you lying, but you certainly not telling the truth, you know? But I don't put it in the category of when he was 19, he made up this story and just stuck to it his whole life. No, this is the same thing we see when you go to college. As soon as you get to college, every single person that you're meeting probably is a different person than they were in high school. Not because they really changed, it's because their story changed. Every single fool I met as a freshman, oh man, I'm from the hood. Oh yeah, could. I'm like, wait a minute. I was like, don't let me go home with you. And then I go home with you, and I'm like, you ain't the hard one, because the hard one wouldn't have done all the work necessary to get here. You man, stop. That's your family, fool. So I've always been soft. I've always been the punk. I've always been the one that laughs when you want to fight. I've always been the one giggling. I ain't about to fight you, fool, because one, I know I'm going to win, but two, I don't want to even get into it with you. It's funny, Charles, you laughing. Somebody walked up to me at the Clipper game last time I was, and they was like, damn, why are you right? Ain't nobody gonna mess with you. You really are big in real life. I was like, no, don't let this TV fool you, bro. I put these paws in. So here's the thing. So I'm looking at these cats. I'm like, man, everybody got a story, right? And they all try to exaggerate it. So I think Stephen A. just exaggerated his story. And I fell victim to this before. I used to not claim Compton when I was in the NFL at first. It was like, I'm from LA. And I just thought that was enough until it felt like Compton got mad at me. Like, nah, you were from Compton. And then you gonna act like you ain't because you in the NFL now. I was like, actually, it's a compliment to be from Compton, but I was there for my first 6 years, and then I was only there every weekend. But I was like, yeah, I'm from Compton, and then they made me have to claim Compton. Then LA talking about, you ain't claiming LA. And then Slauson and the Overhills talking about, you ain't. And then they get real gangster and deep. So I'm like, man, look, I can understand where sometimes you leave something out just to keep the story going. As they say, the greatest storytellers are the ones who forget what to say. Like, don't bring every detail to every conversation. Forget some of those details. So maybe Stephen A. forgot some of the details. But I don't know. It sounds like a lot.
You being nice. He was straight up capping, man. Marcel, I sat back and I watched your show, and you were talking about the recruitment story. And you were like, oh, yeah. Exactly what you said. You were like, I'm not going to say you lying, but you definitely not telling the truth. He was like, you were like, that never happens. And for him to not respond to that specific point, I was like, man, this is This is absolutely